What's up, y'all? So I just picked up the Fujifilm 16mm 1.4. I have the 18mm f2 and I love the lens. I think it's super underrated. People say how it's Fuji's worst lens, but it's really not. I think it comes down more to when you're working with wide angle lenses, there's like no gimmicks, there's no creamy bokeh that you can do. You have to make sure you're getting a proper composition, proper lighting, proper subject, proper background. Like you have to have a good shot in order for a wide angle lens to look cool. If you're just shooting whatever, what's shooting mean? If you're just shooting whatever, it's not gonna look that great. It's like just like an iPhone shot basically. Because I think depending which iPhone, their focal lengths are usually like 24 to 28 millimeters. So it's actually pretty similar. But the reason that I wanted to get the 16mm 1.4 was mainly because of build quality. The 18mm photo quality is pretty damn good. Again, people say how bad it is. Don't listen to them. That's probably like gearheads who don't really know anything about like photography. The 18mm will get the job done. But at the same time, the build quality when I'm on shoots like that and my gear is getting thrown around and I'm running around, I'm around horses or I'm on UTVs going straight up a hill with mud flying everywhere. The 18mm build quality just can't keep up. So a couple things. In the center, the sharpness is good. Even at f2, the sharpness is good. But on the corners, it's not the greatest. So again, when I'm working on bigger gigs, I want to make sure I have sharpness throughout the whole frame just in case. Vignetting, the 60mm and 18mm both have vignetting, but Fuji's internals automatically get the vignetting away, and also in Capture One you can push the vignetting away as well. But overall, the 16mm is higher, image quality is higher. That doesn't mean that the 18mm's image quality isn't good either. But one thing that's always bugged me was, let me get the lens out. Also, I just got this new bag. I go through camera bags like crazy, and I'm always buying like cheap $60 ones off Amazon. And then I have a, hang on, let me get this one too. This is a tangent real quick, guys. So I also have this, and it's by Condition One, and they're a super low-key little gear case thing. They have this camera case, but you can also use them as gun cases or whatever. Basically a Pelican case, but way cheaper, and it's just as good as quality. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested, but you can see. So when I'm on bigger gigs, I usually use that, but when I'm on certain gigs and we're gonna be running around and shooting a bunch of crazy stuff, this isn't realistic. This is better for like fashion stuff, but sometimes I get hired for commercial work too. So like just last week, I did a Wrangler photo shoot, and it was a 4-day shoot on like this gorgeous ranch up in San Luis Obispo. And it was a crazy shoot, and there's no way that I could have been rocking this. I would have at least needed an assistant to carry it around, and still that's not very realistic. But yeah, let me get the lens out. Yeah, I'm gonna do a review on this case too. But I need to get a little more usage out of it. I've only had it for a week now. So here's the 16 1.4. Sometimes I buy new. Again, Fuji gear has really good resale value, so it's almost just better just to buy new. But yeah, it's pretty badass. So one thing on the 18mm that's always bugged me, like it's one of the most annoying thing I've ever had to deal with. So this thing's so small that when you're shooting with it, you will accidentally bump the focus ring. And how I have my camera set up is if you touch the focus ring, it zooms in so you can like double check focus. I have that set up for when I do video work. And it was annoying enough to me when like I'm trying to get the shot and the light's going down and I'm yelling at the model to do this and that. And then I accidentally bump this and it just messes up the whole composition, and then I get sucked out of what I'm doing. So again, that was bugging me. I could have easily changed my camera settings, but again, I do a lot of video work too, and I just don't want to have to flip that back and forth all the time like that. And even if your camera isn't even set in manual focus, it will still go into that, how I have it set up. So on the 16 1.4, the focus ring is locked. You have to click it down in order to manual focus, and then do that, and it doesn't move. So that already sold me. And on top of that, it's just build quality. Again, when I'm on bigger shoots, I like having a little tiny lens like this. The build quality is not great on this one. Again, the image quality is great on it, but the build quality, I mean, I think it's one of the earlier lenses. So, I mean, it's still good for what the price is. It's insanely good. Another thing too about the 18f2 is the aperture ring was always kind of, it feels like loose and kind of, I don't know, like it doesn't feel nice. And then on the 16 1.4, you can see it's just butter, you know? Butter. It's similar to the 56 1.2. But yeah, guys, like, again, just look how beautiful that lens is and that lens hood. I mean, without, I mean, it's an awesome lens, but definitely the lens hood's pretty cool. Gives that vintage vibes, which I'm all about. That's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. I've only done a few shoots with it. I just got off it was like a 24-hour gig. We had to stay out in the desert, and it was all swim stuff. And I was like, this is the perfect time to like really push this lens. You can see like in the photos, I just took some sample photos while I was out there. When you're shooting at f2 with the 1.4, everything's sharp from corner to corner. And the center is even sharper than the 18 f2. But when you open it up to 1.4, you actually get a lot of bokeh. So that was like another thing. It's like, if I'm going to use this thing, I want to be able to get more bokeh on the creative shots. So I did use it a couple times on the shoot. Again, most of the time when I'm doing fashion shoots like this, I don't like opening up my aperture all the way, because if the clothes or whatever the object is even a little bit out of focus, like the client's not going to like that. They want everything to be in focus. They want that more than the creative end, usually. But yeah, I did use 1.4, and you can see some sample photos right here. When you shoot at 1.4, you do get like more creamy bokeh compared to f2 on the 18 millimeter. But the sharpness is good on both lenses. It's better on the 16 millimeter, but that's not saying that it's bad on the 18 millimeter. So if you're on a budget, 18 millimeter will rock it. Don't listen to what people are saying. I've been using that lens for the past 6 months, I think. And I just thought maybe it was time to bump up to the 16 millimeter, just more for build quality and to get a little more creative with the bokeh, which I don't think normal people won't be able to tell. We can tell, but most other people won't be able to tell. But it just helps for when you're in low light and everything, since the crop sensor. Yeah, guys, that's my little review on the 16 millimeter versus the 18 millimeter. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to do some more tests. Let me know what kind of tests I should do. I got a couple in mind. So, and one thing I forgot to mention, the focus distance on, or the minimal focus distance on the 16 millimeter 1.4 is insane. I'll try to throw in a little picture here of how close you can get to this lens, which is going to be pretty fun, because if you guys follow me on Instagram, you see that I like to do double up shots where there's a model and then next to her is like a detail shot to do kind of like a storytelling composition kind of thing. So this lens is gonna be fun to play around with, stuff like that. But yeah, guys, I gotta go. I gotta finish up these edits. I'm behind on 3 shoots. Deadline was done yesterday on one of them, and then one's due tonight. So I gotta get that done. Oh, I got a video I gotta edit too. Yeah, I gotta go. Peace.